Okay, hello everyone, good evening, and welcome to our masterclass with Gary Schocker. My name is Jessica Taskov, and I'm a flutist here in New York City. And I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to come together tonight and celebrate music and the flute. And I'm very excited to hear our flutist and learn from Gary. So I first met and played for Gary way back during the Julius Baker master classes in Danbury, Connecticut. And I still have my notes and a treasured CD that he signed for me. Um, and then fast forward to a couple of years ago, we were both in the repair shop and talking flutes, and Gary asked to try my flute. And when I handed it to him and he played, my face was kind of in shock, and he said, "Are you surprised?" And I said, "Kind of." Because what I heard was so beautiful, and he just found the ringing point on my instrument so quickly, and I immediately understood that he knows something that I don't, and I want to know that. so uh, I've been following him on social media, and I've been so impressed by his music and his mind and compositional skills, and of course, flute playing. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Gary also is a harpist and a pianist and plays harpsichord, and and basically, I feel such joy when I hear his music and creative genius. And I wanted to ask him to do this class and bring it to everybody during this weird year that we're having, more than a year. So anyhow, before we get started, Gary actually made a present for us and the flute club and this class. So we have a video of him.
It's not brownies. Sorry,
Say it again.
not brownies.
Not brownies. No, it's not brownies. You owe us brownies next time, no. But he wrote a movement called Promenade, right, on Sunday and recorded it for us. And we have a short video to share with you. And then since Sunday, um, uh, he's written four more movements, and it's turned into a larger piece called Escapade. So this is a preview. So we're super lucky to get this, and what a special treat. So yeah, we'll play it now for you. Yay! Thank you.
Walking in the horrible socks were an extra bonus.
Do you want to tell us more about the rest of the movements?
Yeah, I don't know. I wrote that and then I I hadn't written anything for flute and piano in a little bit, and so I actually wrote 5 more sections. So it's a 6 movement piece. They're all about. There's one sort of serious movement. The last movement is uh, they all. I don't know. I just had this idea because I wrote that one and it was um, called Promenade, and so then I wrote one that sounded like morning music. I thought, oh, I'll call it Obod, and then I had every movement had to have an ADE ending on it, and so that's how I ended up calling the whole piece the way I did. And but I think it's a fun piece. I just finished copying it out today, and a lot of ledger lines, so I'm glad that's done. We'll see what happens.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing it with us early. Okay, well, so we have 5 flutists playing for us tonight, and the first one is Jenn Forese, and she is a double major graduate from Queen's College, right, in English and musicology, and she teaches. This is very cool sounding. Um, oh, I lost it. She teaches English at the Aerospace and Science Magnet School in Queens, which is pretty cool, and it plays in a bunch of groups. But one other amazing thing that I found out that she does is volunteer at the dog shelter. So she's also an amazing, wonderful, nice person. So anyway, and she is playing for us tonight, Telemann Fantasy Number 2 in A minor, right?
Great.
Okay, awesome. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
It's good. Hey, can I ask a question? I'm looking. I want to look at Jen, and I'm looking at the music, and I don't want to see the music. I want to see her a large screen. How do I do that? I want to see what she's doing, and I can't because the music's there, and she's really small. Can somebody help me? Oh,
I think the other Jen in the
you
flute
can
club
pin her video.
can spotlight
Pinning you.
Jen.
Ah, thank you. Okay, great. We got it.
Okay.
Good. All right, good. Go ahead. Sounds good. Good. So you know what? Try this out. The heel of your hand, um, your right one is pulling back, so it's putting your right arm at a disadvantage because your bones are, it's kind of aiming your thumb down, and you want your thumb up because that's how the bones cross in the arm. So could you, if you look at my hand, you see where my fifth is. Kind of imagine that there's a string attaching the corner underneath your fifth finger to the corner underneath your fifth finger so that they're facing each other more. Just play a little A like that. Good ear. Um, Physically, what happened when you imitated me was what I was going to ask you to do, which was to incorporate more of your nose in your sound, so that you're not fighting yourself. Because if you try to make your sound louder with your tongue by coming down, it closes your throat, and then you're fighting yourself more. So, say we're going to just do. Just do that for me. Left hand, your pinky is doing this. Now, the reason why I think it's doing that again is because your five is tending to go this way. And if it was facing you a little bit more, maybe your pinky could soften and curve so it's not stiff. And see what that does for you. Good. Yeah, so you're doing this. So just do this for a while. Stiffen your finger. So you're going to be pushing your thumb pretty hard into your flute, and you're going to feel how it's kind of stopping your energy at your thumb, and also your forearm is going to get a kind of wooden quality to it. So now if you were to just let your forearm go and let your hand go, you feel how that feels softer. And it's kind of like, if you put your flute down for a sec. If you shake your hands and imagine the five part is what's doing the shaking, it's easy. But now try to shake them from the thumbs down, and notice how that's kind of clumsy, right? But from the fives, it's really easy. Now you can feel when you're doing it from the fives, I'm so nervous. You can see how your arms are following and they feel freer. But when you're doing it from your thumbs, notice how your arms are locked and they're pointing. So this isn't good, this is good. So imagine you've got that shaking thing going in your pinkies, and play the first couple of notes again. Good. Now, when you do this, and you lift, you're pushing your tongue down as you lift your ribs. So if you kind of do that for a while, just up and down, D minor. Don't lock your eyes up. Play D, F, A, D, A, F, D, A, F, D. That's right. Let your eyes go. Good. Now, if you could remember this other idea of letting the inside bottom corners of your palms be attracting each other, and do that again. Don't try to play loud, just play. Good. And then look at my right hand. I'm not doing this. So that my arm is easy, right? Almost like I'm going toward a handshake with both of my hands. Try that. All right, so my way of teaching is I feel like, I can point out musical things to people that may help them, but somebody has to have an ear. If they don't have an ear, I can't. What can I do? You clearly have an ear. So what I like to do is I like to figure out, well, how can I make it physically more easy? Because without really easy physical production, you can be tremendously talented, but you're working against yourself. So, it makes it harder to play. So when you're going up to the D here, I believe that you're changing your ribs this way. So you're kind of hiking. So if this all stays at the same, see my face? You know? So kind of make a more of an air shelf with your face to get to the high D rather than lifting up through your ribs and see what happens. It's kind of an abrupt change. That's better. Let your eyes relax. Don't look worried. Good, good. So my tongue is staying in the same place. Changing with your tongue. So you're used to doing this. It's kind of, you're going kind of making an L in the back of your tongue. Think more sh. You know, just play AD for a while and just stay the same in your tongue. That's perfect. Now as you're doing it, notice any tension you've got in your ribs through here and kind of let it go. Remember your hands. That'll help your ribs. And go ahead and do that. All right, so. Because see, if I do this, see, I went 2 blocks out of my way. So when I go down for that low G, it's not quite as smooth, and it's harder for me to provide the idea of 2 voices. Because, you know, here I've got a harpsichord. I just happen to have a harpsichord here. So when I do this, see what it's really about? It's a yum, bom, bom, bom. So you want those 2 voices. Got it? All right, good. Now go ahead and play for a while. I'll keep my mouth closed for a few seconds. Yeah, so just play the ending. When you get to the ending, maybe something nice and finished sounding. Right, so now notice how when you finish the last note, you're bringing your chin, keep the same. As I'm doing my diminuendo, I never lose the feeling of connection through my face. Because, I mean, the big thing about playing the flute, I think, is balancing the tube. The tube moves. So everybody has a different strategy for how they're going to hold the tube still. Some people have, you know, a lot of tension in the ribs and the neck, and then their fingers are crazy high, you know. It's hard to get a good sound that way, but it's also kind of hard on your hands. So if you get the ribs, so I like this on you because this is not tight. This is good because your embouchure is your whole face. It's not this thing. This is part of it, but this has to stay soft, and you're doing that. So see if you can stay with your nose a little bit and play that ending. See what happens. Yeah, so how do you finish the note, right? So you finish the note this way with your ribs kind of like, what? Like, what? What's your problem? What? So you don't want to push there. Leave your... See, as my mouth stops blowing, my nose stays alive. See if you can figure that out. Just play one note like that. Play an A like that. Yeah, so let me get a metal head joint here.
Yeah, we're almost out of time.
Oh, really?
Pretty much. I know it's short.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
See, I'm kind of like opening my mouth at the end of the note, but I'm still blowing, but mostly with my nose. Yeah, now do it on an E. So then what happens is when you're ready for the next thing, your body doesn't have to reset. So I'm just pretty much the same. Pretty much seriously, I mean, I'm pretty much the same through my face. It's a different way of going about it. It's a lot easier, I think. The other thing, let me see how open is your head joint to your body? How do you have it set up? Is it like right in the middle or what? Is it back? Is it forward?
It's back just a smidge.
Because you know what I found is interesting. If you roll out a little bit more than you think you should, what happens is the right hand, the kind of the fork of the fingers, sends energy out, and you're helping to balance your flute with your right arm, because every flute player tends to be more of a left, because the left is the first thing that goes on the flute. So people want to control everything from here. It's why like so many flute players look like this when they're, So you get your right hand to kind of open at the base of the visible finger, and then I get that kind of a sound. If I roll back more, do you hear how my flute's falling into my hand from the E to the F? Right, it's dropping. So then I'm going to have to work harder in my right wrist to keep the flute forward. But if you just roll forward a little bit, the trick with this, which is really weird, and I just figured it out today, is when I've always rolled forward, I would revert to my same right hand position, which is stupid, because really the reason why I'm rolling forward is to give my right hand a little bit more activity on the instrument. You see what I'm saying? So this kind of thing happens rather than pulling back. So think about that, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sure, my pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Coreisa Lee, who is zooming in from West Virginia, where she just finished the first year of her DMA, right? Yeah, and she is studied at MSM and where else? With Dr. Connor Nelson at BGSU. And fun fact about Coreisa, she got her flute from Meredith Vieira on the Meredith Vieira show, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, thanks for joining us. And Chris is going to be playing C.P.E. Bach Sonata in A minor, right? Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Welcome.
Now I'm going to pin her. There we go.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So would you like me to just go ahead?
I would.
Okay.
Can I? It sounds beautiful. What I'm noticing is when you get to your breaths, you make a big change to your body that I think you don't need. So when you get to the breath part, uh, don't reset your ribs. In other words, it feels like you're picking up your ribs a little bit to take a breath. See if you can leave them the same and see what happens.
Okay.
That's it. You're a lot lower than I am, so you want to push in or do you want me to pull out?
I'll push in. I'll push in.
It's your choice. Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll be trying to match your pitch and I'll sound horrible within 2 minutes.
Oh no. Okay.
So you see when I restart, if I did this, yeah, I think you're intrinsically very musical, so you understand that the phrase is dying. The problem is you don't want your ribs to die with it. So if I do this, see how I came down? Then I've got to come up. So just play the trill and the B and stay where you are and go on from there. You know what? Also, I always think of like C.P.E. Bach must have been somebody who it was like this. He was a leaner because pull out all the appoggiatures everywhere. Bring them out.
Okay.
Sounds a little bit like I could give you a little more air. It feels like when you take a breath, if I aim my camera low enough, it feels like you're focused down. Here's my navel. It feels like you're focused very low in the front, and you're not actually going all the way around. So the problem with breathing, if you try to isolate one spot, like people will say support, whatever that means, the support is very gentle. I find for me, the easiest way to think about the support is like, if there's like I don't know. If you imagine like your body is like a big bag, and up through the middle of the bag there's like a filament. Or I know. You know those candles that are like honeycomb candles? They wrap them around. You know what I'm talking about? Beeswax.
Oh.
I can't go downstairs and get one for you because it'll waste too much time. But if you imagine like a tube, okay? And in the center of the tube, there's like a fuse or a filament.
Okay.
And that's always going up. So you're not trying to pull your body up, but your breath is always rising. So as I'm playing here, Uh, Now here's how you're breathing, I believe. And it's causing stiffness in your back and in your tongue. So instead, if you could just imagine like kind of like how do I describe it? It's almost like the breath is coming up and the sound is coming up against your will.
Okay.
So rather than trying really hard to isolate the breath low, just it's coming up from underneath you, but just let it be this continuous idea and just like play, I don't know, play, right there on that C. Let's see where we go with this. Good, you sound good. How about? See, look, if I show you, the chords are like, if I do this. So you've got the chords going. So you've got the C that goes to the C-B. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes.
So see, that's just a simple thing. Look, watch me wreck it. You know, it's silly because you've already got the chord. It doesn't do that. So give me some of that, please. You really make it sound like cadence in C major. Make me happy. So the way I do that kind of a shocking note is by not anticipating it. So I pretend I'm going to play C. And the surprise happens after I hear the F sharp, not before I play it. See if you can do that. Good. That was very good. Now the same idea with my, keeping your ribs kind of soft and calm. Oh. Not that. Because just like I was saying to Jen, the G to the F is about this. I sometimes tell people, really good flute playing, in my opinion, it's kind of like really bad flute playing. So if you listen to some, junior high school person playing, not like that. I play like this. A lot of in my face, but I'm just not adding the extra tense in my ribs and my tongue, but I still have a very alive face. Now look, if I try to play without any of that, I'll get this. You know, it sounds like, you know, I need a kick, right?
Right.
Okay, so don't be afraid to get your face in your sound. Yeah?
Yes.
Good. You want to go on?
Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, most problems are very easily solved. Um, I haven't really talked too much about it, but my latest fun thing that I like to think about is how my hands are balancing the flute. So, for example, when I have to jump, so here, how am I going to get to that G? Well, it seems like an obvious, easy baby thing to do, to go from C to G. But if I do it all with my left hand, I get this. And I'm off, because I'm tight here, the back of my 5 of my right hand. So instead, when I'm going from the C to the G, watch my right hand. See how I grow? I grow my 4 and my 5 longer. So grow your 4 and 5 longer as you go from C to G. Go ahead. Position to play the E there. Go ahead. Yeah, and you could even play the low C if you want to be a hot dog. Oh, Jessica's trying to tell me to stop. Okay, sorry. That was good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's fine. Nice to meet you in person,
Nice
sort of.
to meet you too. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Sort of. Yes. One day we'll see each other in person.
When I eat those brownies, right?
All right. So next we have Elsa Nielsen, who is going to play Uma Zero, which is a Brazilian choro standard, right?
Sure.
And oops, there's the timer. And Elsa is a Swedish American flutist, and fun fact about her, she won the NFA 2018 Jazz Flute Competition and has released 4 albums as a band leader. So cool. Welcome, and go ahead.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Why don't I see her?
Because I have to be louder. Can you see me now?
No, let me see if I've got, maybe I have to hit gallery. There you are. Okay,
Okay.
I gotcha. Now I want to see you pinned. Good, great.
Angle okay, or should I move the
Perfect.
Great.
Very nice. So is that the standard tempo?
I've heard it both faster and slower.
The reason why I asked because I don't know it, but I looked at it to try to figure it out, and I heard it slower. And I guess what I would think maybe would like I can do some color things a little bit slower that I couldn't do at that tempo. Um, I had some ideas about it. Stuff like that, displacements, which you could never do at that. Well, like maybe you could, but I couldn't at that tempo. It would be too scary. So, maybe just go a little slower,
Sure.
if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Could you try this? When you have those little grace notes, could I have a little more air around in your mustache? Just drill from A to B and put some air in there, especially on the left side. Yeah, so you don't really, it's good. You don't need to go, but it's like in the laugh line area. I'm looking for it. Noses. It'll keep the sound really floating. So lots of it's kind of hard to describe what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the air in the nose. It's like if you were going to say a bad four-letter word that starts with SH, you would, like, it's like, oh, that feeling. When I go down to the low notes, I don't change my tongue placement, You're doing, you're letting your tongue change a little bit here. See what happens if you leave it the same. Yeah, it sounds a little meatier to me. It sounds a little rounder on the bottom, and I think it would give you a little more sound on the bottom without, a whole lot of work. So this pretty much just stays the same, and then uh, uh, I love this piece. It's so cute. Can you play the B section?
I could, yeah.
No, it's very good. So one thing you might want to think about, you're giving yourself rhythm by holding your low back, and then you're kind of using your spine like rhythm section. So what would happen if you didn't do that? Let's see. So that, for example, that spot, are you looking at the music? You're doing this out of your head.
I am, but I have the music.
Okay, well, in this spot, I like that squawk. You know, it's like a chicken. And we're missing it at that tempo.
Yeah.
So go a little slower and see if you can give me the chicken.
From the top of the B section?
Anywhere is fine in there, sure. Good. Now, I like that. This part, that's the first F natural. So that's additive, and I like that little bit because you don't expect, you expect it to end, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, again, I think if it gets too fast, it's really hard for me to do those details. I mean, it works, you know, it sounds great when you play it fast, but I think you might just like go shopping for some other, you know, little details here and there that might be fun for, you know, like a rainy afternoon set. Yeah. So what else is there in here? Oh, I had this other idea in the C section you could do on the repeat.
Usually the C section gets opened for a solo as well.
Okay. It's like, you know, it's like the minute waltz. I wonder what could we do? What could you do, like, what funny fingering could we find for that A flat that would be kind of amusing? You know what I mean? Oh. You know, it sounds kind of funny if it was like a flailing bird there. You know what I mean? I guess what you could do is you could play G with your finger off the hole. Yeah, something like that that would kind of give it a kind of an interesting personality there. Oh, you could do. You know what I mean on the repeat? You could pop those high notes. I think it would sound kind of fun, right?
Yeah. That'd take me a minute to get together, but...
Yeah, I know. It's hard. So same idea with your nose, you know. Like you're, you know, like you're exploding a dandelion. Yeah, so maybe on the repeat, that would be a fun thing to play with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You've got a really good ear. And then you could do, oh, I love to play around with my flutes. This one. It's like color forms.
We have about a minute.
Okay. I'll get my foot joint on. All right. Uh, you know, same idea on the repeat.
Yeah.
You have a really good ear.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you like remember detail really, really clearly. So I'm just bringing up a couple of those high notes. Um, um, Play like something stupid for me, like a G major scale. And watch my hands when I get to the D. When I get to the D, I'm making more of a fork with my right hand. And my 5, rather than coming up, it grows. Keep the 5 low. See, look. Let's see if I can get in an angle where you can see it. Here we go. It's very fast to use your hands that way because your right hand is helping to balance your tube. Yeah, so your left hand. See how my 5 is nice and calm. It's not pulling and pushing. It's just the same. See if you can do that.
No.
Yes. I think, okay. Can you face the 5 corners of your hand at each other a bit? And then can you make sure your thumb isn't so flat on the thumb? Keep it open it like a book to the left a little bit more. Good, and then try that. Here. You do this? Watch me. But take a look at my hand. This is the Rampal thing, right? Can you do it? Yeah, go ahead. So if you practice it that way, then you can kind of get more familiar with what your 5's doing. Then just keep it calmer on the flute. Look in the mirror and do it, because I think it'll give you a little more confidence in when you're playing super fast. If you can get those 5's to be, because really it was like I was saying to Jen, this is very different from trying to wiggle from your thumbs up and down, but your 5's, that's where all of the flexibility is in the hands and in the arms. Plus, I love doing this and seeing it on screen because it's like really cool looking.
It's time.
Okay, very good.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Awesome. Okay, so next up we have Robbie Strauss, who is a senior at Westfield High School in Westfield, New Jersey, student of Jenny Klein for the past 7 years, or 7 of the 8 years that he's been playing flute. And next year we'll be going to study music education and composition at the University of Delaware. And he is playing Gary's Regrets and Resolutions. Yay! Thank you.
And I have to find him. I'm touching my computer like it's an iPad. That's not going to work. Gallery. There you are. Okay. Very good. Hi.
Hi. Okay.
I can tell you sound good, but it sounds really weird. It's going in and out. Do you want to leave it?
That's because I need to click the original sound button.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, it sounds excellent. I want to see if I can just add some little detail. Listen to my long last notes of these phrases. Not, but let it travel back up your nose a little bit like it's a chimney. Try that. So your tongue stays exactly the same, but there's something that's going to change inside your nostrils.
Mhm.
Good. Keep going. Now, when I do that, my flute's a little bit different than yours, so the scale's a little bit different, but I use my right hand to make sure I'm not sharp. See how my fingers came way forward and flat, like, you
Mhm.
know, sausage links, just straight over the rod. Yeah, straight out. See if that'll help you keep the flute from jumping. Because see, look, if I don't, that's if I put my hand behind my back, that's where my flute wants to go, it wants to fall toward me, right? So I have to somehow get it forward. Well, I can either do all the work in my body, like with my spine or something, or I can just use my hand. So try that. Yeah, go ahead. How about some of the fast movement? Da, 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 da. It sounds good. Your A's are kind of going down. Uh, I would. I can't get. Let's see if I can get an angle where you can see what I'm doing here. One thing I like to do on A's, I like to add fingers. So you can add the G sharp key and the D key, unless you have a split E, in which case you're screwed. But if you have a G sharp key and a D key, listen to the A. You can do really big accents that way. Try that out.
I can't remember if I have a split E or not.
Yeah, that's good. So, rather than trying to, basically, you're trying to hold your flute still with your ribs, otherwise like this. And everything's getting tight in my shoulder and in my left arm. But if I'm not holding the flute down with my body, and you don't even really need to use the fingering. You can do the same thing with your fingers on the rod or something just to make sure you're pushing the flute away so it doesn't fall towards you.
Mhm.
Give
Okay.
that a shot. A little bit easier when you get to the E. There's a change in my left hand. Do you have an inline flute or an offset flute?
Offset.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get one. What's that? The waiting music?
I believe Jeopardy, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay, wait, I've got one here. Ugh. All right. Oh, yeah, this one's offset. Good. Well, you know, it's really interesting. On the offset, there's less I have to do. But I still am, I'm moving my left hand a little bit more this way when I'm on those E's to set myself for those runs. Try it.
Yeah, sorry.
Listen. Because, see, D is a really pivotal note on the flute. It's kind of, my hands on the D are a little different than they are on any other note. My angle changes from E to D. E, D. Do you see how my palm faces me more?
Yeah.
Okay, try that.
Sorry.
Don't push your tongue down when you do that octave jump. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, okay, go on.
Sorry.
That's all right. Watch me. If I do this, I don't want to go down. If I go down, I'm pushing my ribs down, I'm pushing my tongue down, I'm closing my throat. Do that for a while. Right. Right, now. You know what? Yesterday, I was teaching somebody and torturing them on this one bar in the Poulenc Sonata, and I discovered it's just so interesting how one pivotal note can make the biggest difference, and usually the mistake or what's perceived of as the most difficult part of a run is not. It's like it's way before that. The problem is. So in other words, if you go down here, your tongue is stuck. But if you don't, it's really easy. Okay, try that. Good.
Cool.
Don't move. Just jump. Not. Don't show us where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica sent me a message, but I couldn't see it too. Okay, can you play those top notes more like a moron?
Okay.
Okay. So it's a color change. I really think that these extra keys on those A's is very helpful in this particular piece. I didn't know that when I wrote the piece, but now I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to add that.
Oh yeah, I'm
Good.
I'm trying to. I'm just like occasionally like
Yeah, no,
keeping
you're
track of the
doing
things. Yeah.
great. I mean, you play fantastically. You're in high school. It's
Thank you.
ridiculous. Go ahead.
Okay. I did the thing again. Sorry, I'm not gonna let myself do that.
Oh, it's all right. I'll forgive you. All right, so the one thing is when you get on that C, you don't want to be anywhere near the low part of the pitch. So you got to be careful here. You want to kind of melt into the beauty part of the sound. You know what I mean? At the first, it should sound like a white sound. So use your right hand to help steer yourself open in case you're dropping your flute towards your face. Just right on the G. Ba da 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 dee. You know what? Don't tongue that C. Just make it sound like you're tonguing it. That's right. So use your nose. Good. Jessica, are we okay?
Yep, I just know a good place to stop.
That was really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much. This has been so great. I wanted to open it up and ask if there are any questions from panelists or from anybody in the chat.
Yeah, ask me questions. I've got my glasses on. I'm ready.
Yeah. And also, by the way, if anyone wants to type their questions, I've been watching Gary's own master classes during this past year, and they've been great. And I think the next one is May 15th.
Yeah, a week from Saturday.
A week from Saturday, right. So, and you can go right on his website.
It's all set up. You just press a button and,
Yeah, it's really easy. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to thank people. I want to thank the New York Flute Club and everybody that makes this possible. Kathy Sanger, Nancy Toft, Deirdre McArdle, Jenn Zabo, Jeff Mitchell. Before I forget, Luke Pinella really helped me in promoting this. He knows way more people than I do.
Pinella.
And thank you so much to Gary for giving us this class.
My pleasure. Now, somebody asked me about my thumbs are really short. Do you have any hints? Well, when I play, my thumbs are high. I mean, if you look at my thumb position on the thumb key, do you see how I'm really up at the rod level? I'm above the back rod. So I would think it's okay. I think it's really good to have your hand this way, not this way. See how this is on an angle and flat? I have my thumb more or less straight up and down so that I can rock onto the B flat or off of it like that. So I don't think short thumbs are really a problem. The thumb is it's the whole thing, it's all the way down to the wrist. So it's not just this. My thumbs are really short. Do you have any hints? It messes with my right hand position. Oh, your right thumb. Okay, well, um, I guess I'd have to see what you do, but again, I kind of let my flute rest right at the corner of, wait, I've got to get onto the picture here. Right at the, why can't I do this? Oh, whatever. You understand. It's right at the corner of my nail is where I'm resting. I don't do this too much because that for me puts pressure down here into my elbow. So I tend to play this way. Try extending your thumb further and see what happens. Don't put those plastic things on your flute. It kills the flute. Okay. Hi, Melissa. Do you have a question? Okay, I'm reading. Yes, you're welcome.
All right.
Can you dem between bad beginner flute versus good beginner flute air again? Sure. Well, bad beginner, or beginner or advanced bad flute playing would be kind of overblowing, like, I don't know. Now what I'm doing now is I'm pushing down on my ribs. I'm pushing down into my collarbone. But you see, I'm very airy up here. Now, if I don't push down here or here, but I retain the air, that's very different from this, where everything's being held and choked underneath my collarbone. So I believe in staying very alive in the face. Weird. Okay, Elsa, what's your question?
I've been having issues with my right thumb when playing big flutes.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
It's your heart. You play alto and bass?
yeah. And I just did a record where it was like a 10-hour day, and it was a lot of practicing leading up to it. And I've never had issues like that before, so I just wanted to know if there was any thoughts on not getting injured or what I should look out for.
Well, I would say a 10-hour day is like about 5 hours too many, probably.
Yeah,
So that's not great. You don't have a big flute right there, right?
I do.
Just really quick, let me see how you hold it.
Be like 4 seconds.
Wow, you've got a lot of Velcro.
Yes.
Okay. So, gosh, that's so big. Can you turn your right thumb a little bit more so that it's on can you see me? Because I can't see me anymore. I don't know what happened.
I can see you. I can't see your right hand.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So rather than this, more this. So a little bit more on the top, on the nail. And also don't expect that your thumb's going to go in the same place underneath the flute as it is on the C flute. That's probably what's going on. So, it's going to be in a different place. And also you're going to have to move it.
Okay.
It's going to get tired. So I think that those two things should help you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Is that it? Anybody else?
All right.
Okay, well, great. It was fun.
Yes, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
All right, everybody, have a great night.
Night.
All right.